Guess what? It's new camera day. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Varsity Overland channel. Today's video is all about the Insta360 X5, which is my newest camera that I can add to my content creation arsenal, I guess you could say. This is not a sponsored video, so I will not have any biased opinions here. It's also not a complete camera review video because I don't have a camera review channel. This is an Overland adventure channel, so this is going to primarily be kind of focused on how this works with recording my Overland adventures, and I've got plenty of footage that I can share with you pretty soon. But yeah, I recently got this camera as a gift, actually, from my wife Michelle. She picked it up as an early birthday present for me, so thank you very much, Michelle. But I've been talking a lot about this camera in the background because back in April, when I took a trip with Jeremy down to Virginia and West Virginia and Maryland to do the Allegheny Discovery route, we met up with a friend of ours, Tyler. He's known as Hot Tacoma on Instagram, and I was really impressed with what he was able to do with it, how versatile the camera is, and you know, all that cool stuff that you can do when you're a content creator. So anyway, I've been talking a lot about it. My wife was nice enough to surprise me with this early birthday present. So I've collected some footage with this camera over the weekend. I went on a short camping trip with some friends. I played around with a couple different angles, a couple different ways to mount it to my vehicle. I got a selfie stick, which I've never used a selfie stick before, believe it or not. Content creator who didn't already own a selfie stick, but it's true. So I purchased the Insta360 extended selfie stick in order to use that. I was able to mount it to my Sony camera's tripod, actually, so I didn't have to purchase an additional tripod, which was pretty cool. But yeah, I was able to collect a whole bunch of footage just around the campsite, in the woods, around the river where we were camping, and I wanted to share all of it with you guys. And after I do that, I will then come back and I'll explain why I think this is going to be such a big contributor to future adventures and future content creation. So I'll roll the footage and then we'll come back. All right, so I mounted the Insta360 back to the selfie stick, which is primarily how I was using it in all of that footage that you just saw. And I think this is pretty much how I'm going to store it, because I don't really need to mount it to anything else right now. I currently have kind of a DIY setup on top of my roof rack of the truck. It's a clamp that I have mounted to my Prinsu rack, and that clamp kind of bites down onto the selfie stick, and that's kind of how I do it right now. It's not probably the most recommended way to do it. It is solid. I have used those clamps in the past to hold like a shovel on the outside of the vehicle, and nothing bad ever happened. So I don't expect this is like gonna fly off my truck or anything like that. But this is primarily how it's stored. I do have a cover for the camera itself, just so that when I rest it down somewhere, it doesn't scratch the lens. And the cover can fit on top of it when it's on the selfie stick. So yeah, I think this camera is pretty cool. I think it's like a nice marriage between, you know, like a GoPro style video and then a partial drone type of video, you know, being able to follow a subject. You can do a lock feature so that it can select, you know, a person, or it can select a specific object like a vehicle to lock onto, and then the camera just continuously focuses on that subject, basically. So it's kind of cool. So it's kind of like you can roll the camera and just travel, and the camera will just follow you because of the fact that it is constantly shooting in 360. It's got cameras on either side, right? So it constantly shoots in 360, and then you edit, you know, whatever angle you want after the fact. You edit that with the Insta360 software, which is free to download, by the way. And speaking of that, editing and software and all that, the only drawback that I'm noticing right now with my brief experience using this, the only drawback is it takes a lot. There is a lot of post with this type of content. So the plus side is, while I'm on the adventure, all I need to do is hit record and not really worry about angles or anything like that, because I can fix all of that after the fact. But when it actually is time to fix all that after the fact, the editing process can be quite lengthy. And I have to edit everything using the Insta360 either software on the computer or the app on my phone. You have to edit all of that and get the correct angles and get the correct movements that you want before you can even export it as like an MP4 file and then incorporate into your other YouTube content. So I have to kind of break down the content into two parts now, I guess you could say. I have to edit just the Insta360 content so I get that the way I want it. And then I have to add it to all of my other content that I was shooting with the GoPro that's mounted to my dash, or, you know, my cell phone or my Sony camera. So kind of juggling a lot right now, but I'm hoping that this is going to at least take the place of my GoPro and possibly take the place of my phone. Typically, I just use my phone now to record, you know, head floating talking videos like this one right now, or I'll use it when I'm walking kind of like through the woods or walking around camp. I kind of have it facing forward and as like a POV kind of situation, and now maybe this will be able to take over those two jobs. So I'm not going to shift everything on the channel to the Insta360. That would kind of be silly if I did that, but this is going to be incorporated to get a couple of those extra stuff, those extra shots that I thought would be really cool, like the one I was able to get of the tires as they were rolling on the pavement. I can already imagine how cool it would be to see the tires rolling down a trail or rolling through like a river or a stream or over some rocks. I just think that would be a really big benefit to this. So all I gotta do is stick it out the window while I'm driving, because I won't be driving very fast on the trail, right, going over rocks and stuff. Stick the selfie stick out the window, hit record, and then not really worry about where the camera's facing because it's 360. And then afterwards, when I'm at home on the computer, I can edit the camera to view over towards the tires. So I think this is going to come in handy. I think this is going to be really cool. I'll be able to mount it to the outside of the truck, the inside of the truck, carry it while I, maybe go hiking during a video, something like that. So if you have any thoughts as to what you would like to see me do with this camera, please comment down below. And I did say this wasn't like a camera review channel or a camera review video per se, so I'm not getting into like the nuts and bolts of this camera and how it specifically works. But if you've got questions, drop a comment down below and I'll do my best to answer those too. Thanks for watching the video. Can't wait to use the camera, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace, people.